Hi, it's another Tuesday podcast. I got to bring my mic a little closer so I don't have to bend over.
That's what she said.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you just bend on over?
Oh, there we go.
Bend over.
Now I'm comfy.
You?
We're both in stripes.
We so cute.
We're striping it up.
You know, rugby shirts are coming back.
Perfect. Those are so cute.
I guess so. I just kind of feel like a mime or a referee. Like I had my...
Or nautical. Excuse
nautical.
me. This is an ASMR.
Like I'm going on a cruise. But welcome back. It's Tuesday. You know, I was reading what we were talking about on our I read the summary of what we talked about on one of our Tuesday podcasts. And
was it fun?
No. I mean, was it fun? Tuesdays, you know, it's so weird. Our top 5 episodes have something to do with finding yourself, confidence. It's so interesting to me that people are still so looking for that. It's like, it's just so interesting to me that will always be a top 5, like finding your joy, finding your happiness. Who are you? Finding your confidence.
Finding joy and happiness is like, it's like a really, I mean, especially...
Sorry, that one is not the top 5, but it should be. It's confidence. And who are you as a person?
No, I saw the 5.
Yeah, curious, eh?
No.
Shocking.
Not at all.
We think weight loss would be number 1.
Well, we haven't done a lot of that.
No, I guess not.
And plus, you know, when we talk about it, because we say that you cannot have joy if you don't give yourself permission, and you kind of have the confidence to be able to give yourself joy, because it is an emotion that is very, what's the word? Vulnerable. And I think that's what's just sometimes so fun about talking to people who have somehow, some way found a confidence that they can let go and have fun. And I think that especially in a time like motherhood, and especially a time like these past few years, people have forgotten and they've lost it. And so don't you want to hear people talk about how they have it and how they can have a good time and still laugh?
Well, I also was talking to someone in my life who I'm related to, and they go, another woman, and she said, you know, universally, actually they were at a ski hill on the weekend. And she's like, universally, I feel like women are so fucking tired. She's like, we're all just so tired. And she's like, and she just went on a retreat. So like, there's not even like...
See, I knew it didn't last.
It doesn't last.
It only lasts 24 hours. Then you get home and you're a mom again. You're exhausted.
Because it's here. It's not actually your physical body. Like it's not. And so it was just so interesting. She said that. She's like, I feel like the ski hill they belong to should have like a quiet room where it's like, and I was like, you could have like spa music and like a fireplace where you just get to go sit and like...
Because I bet if you do it regularly, you know what I mean? You can't just like go for a week and do it. But if you do it on a regular basis, then it would have some effects.
Is it like working out?
I think so.
Like where you have to go regular. I said to my husband yesterday, I was like, you know what the shitty thing about working out is, because I was thinking I've been trying to work out again and stuff, and I'm like, he's like, do you have a goal? And I'm like, even if I had a goal, it doesn't fucking end. Like,
no.
It's not like, even if I got to the goal, you can't stop the goal. Like, it's not like you can, let's just say you have a goal of growing your hair to a certain length. You get there, you get to stop.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the key. Fitness. is that working out and doing that for your body is something that is just an ongoing thing, and it should be a part of your life until you die.
I resent it. It actually makes me angry that you have to, you know, because it's like it's like I have to. I don't like I have
something that might help.
Don't do it.
No, because I was laying in bed and I couldn't sleep last night, and my body just felt weak. You know, it just felt like it was just like a bag of body lying in a bed.
Yeah.
And
CBD.
Well, I was just like, but if you're not building muscle and you're not like, you know, because we were talking about this yesterday, they did a recent research study with a bunch of people, I think 50 people. They got half of them, or 50 people, to work out for half an hour, I guess about a day, for 8 weeks, and then a group that didn't. And the people that actually worked out and did cardio for 30 minutes a day were 15% more mentally resilient after those 8 weeks. So that's super. That's another thing on top of that. We're trying to like.
I get it.
Stay safe.
Fair, but I still have to do it. You know.
Well, when I heard that, I was just like, I mean, not only do I need my body to become more resilient, but if you can have a stronger mind from doing it, that's just another added bonus. So as I was laying there in my bed like a bag of bones, I was like, you need to fucking move your body.
Grandma does a great job.
Oh, so good. But you know, she didn't for all those years that she was working, like,
Yeah.
but
she
it's
walked
never
probably
too
to and
late.
From work.
She always did. She always did.
You have a
That's
dog,
right.
you can walk.
Yeah. I resent that.
See, I'm saying I resent.
I had to do it yesterday, by the way. I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, I just got to
I
do
resent
it.
the have to.
Mm.
I resent it, and I know I have to embrace it, but I'm just like, it's just, it's a process, and
Yeah.
I think it's unfair that our lifestyle has been created. I'm really big into nature right now. Not nature. I'm really big into. I know some of you believe in God and stuff, but is that right? I don't know.
No,
like in my family,
that's
is very
true.
religious,
You can
but,
say,
like,
and you
I
can
don't
say
know.
God. You can say God and stuff, because that's, instead of just saying God, you're listing all, powers that people believe, beliefs they have. So, and stuff. Spirituality, religion.
I was trying to explain to it all started one day on a deep dark road when I was driving. And
was it the evening?
It was the evening, and my daughter is very much Natalie, and she'll just be out of the blue like, life is so fucked, like just out of the blue, just be like, I didn't see it, like life is just fucking, just not, she won't say fuck, life is just weird.
Oh my God, TJ and Olivia need to sit down and have some talks.
So she has this
They
big
think the same way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
someone is texting us right now, and it's just too good. And yes, we can.
Yeah, of course. So she's like, they always talk about favorites. And I'm like, okay, I know you all want to talk about favorites, and we can all say, depending on the day, blah, blah, blah. But I said, biologically, like, think about this. You come to me, whether it's like, however that child comes to you, for me, it came out of my body. You come to me, and like, you think that I don't even know, you don't even talk, and I have a power to take care of you. You think I can have a favorite when, like, biologically, like, I just want to take care of you, and you don't even do anything but cry and eat from my boobies?
I literally naturally have no choice but to love you.
Yeah. So then I was like, if I had favorites, then I would eat one of you, because, realistically,
you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want that child to have to endure the struggle of life. Is that why you would?
No, just because biologically, as humans,
I think they eat the weak.
Oh. Well, biologically, as moms of humans, and listen, I'm not a person who knows, like, I'm not like an archaeologist, or what are those people called who find bones? I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I think those are archaeologists.
Like, whoever like digs and finds shit and knows the history of like where people came from. They see a man cave or caveman or whatever they were.
Okay.
But I said to her, I was like, moms can't, because we biologically have to take care. Like, we're programmed to actually take care of you, and if we have,
and then
favorites,
she's like, yeah, but who's your favorite?
Well, then I'm like, well, dads probably have favorites, because they would probably eat you in the wild.
I don't think they eat you when they're your favorite.
No, dads eat all their kids in the wild.
But I would say, like, there's two things. Either that you would eat your child if you don't want them to endure the struggle of life, or you eat them because they're weak. But I think you eat them because they're weak.
Women don't eat their children.
But if we did.
We don't. Just the men.
But if we did.
We eat men.
I
like,
would
pray
eat the
men
weak.
just eat the man.
The crazy thing is, if you were ever stuck inside of a house.
No.
Burning?
No.
Oh, we can talk about eating them, but we can't talk about something that could actually happen.
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna actually say that you would eat them if you were stuck in a house.
No, and it's on fire, and you have reach of all of them, but you can only get to one.
I would just go down with all of them.
Yeah, let's all go. Yeah, no, me too. Let's all just hold hands and go down together.
I was just saying to her, I'm like, biologically, it's just really weird that we, like, I'm like, I can't.
Was she asking you who your favorite was?
No, they just have this. She was talking just about like this whole thing of life, and like that you have because she's like, I'm like, it's children, and I'm like, really, it's really weird that as people we're kind of programmed to want to keep procreating.
I know.
And it's like a desire for some. And
so
it's like
weird.
It's like you can't, it's like this pull. And she's like, what? I'm like, I know, but I think it's gotta go back to like, I'm like, the universe wants you to keep creating. And it unless everyone's like, I don't want to anymore, I'm like, I don't know how developed we are as people to know that. I
don't know. I mean, I'll never know what it feels like to like be in a part of life where you're like, those people are like, I just hit an age. So we were talking to someone, I can't remember, and she was like, my friend just realized out of nowhere that she wants to have a baby, and it's like getting to a point where she needs to have it. I never got to get that feeling where it was a natural, like, I need to procreate. It was always just like based on,
oh, I wanted a baby so badly.
No, I know, but I want, like, I was too young to know why I wanted it. I think, like, I just always,
nature.
But I don't know if it was just what I was always like, it's all I ever saw was moms. Like I never knew anyone who didn't have kids. You know what I mean? So it's all I ever knew that you were supposed to do. So I was like, obviously I'm going to get to an age and I want to have babies. I want to have a family, but it's because we don't have a lot of like, other than Jennifer Aniston, we don't have a lot of like.
Chelsea Handler.
Yes.
We have a lot of women who are like, I don't want this, but I think they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, take a quick break and then I'll tell you what I told her. I told her that the instinct is so huge for some that they go through everything to try to have a child, and it's painful and it's heartbreaking, but it's like more heartbreaking not to. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm like, you really break it down, it's kind of fucked up. That's part of
kind of like
the drive.
So now I didn't answer your question. So now
I'm like, it's actually impossible for me to have favorites because I am biologically in tune. I
think when they get older and they become adults and they're fully grown people, I think
you know who the favorite is.
Oh yeah. Like I can think of, and no one has to say it. In a lot of families, you just know. Like,
but my mom would still do anything for all
of course, but I guess
I
it's
don't think there's a favorite. I think there's who's closer to other people.
Well, and I also think that when you're no longer a child and you're not there to be taken care of and you're an adult, you naturally have personalities that get along.
I think you also have to look at who's going to take care of you.
But you know what I mean? Like some people are just, it's not your personality. Like people match and they mesh and they get along. Like if you have a family of like 6 kids, there's probably like one that just, and I can think of multiple families like that. It's just like, the mom and the mom just gets along with that kid better.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and that kid's probably gonna take care of that mom for life.
For sure.
Some aren't. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I do think that some parents do definitely hedge their bets on the ones that are going to be there for the long term. Are going to take care of them.
Because you get to know your kids as they get older. Like you think they're a certain thing, or you don't really know their personality. They're going through some like
you do not know your children at any age.
I mean,
you know them at an age.
Starting to like even more see more of my baby's like natural like sense of humor. And I love funny people. I love people that have natural.
I didn't think you had one.
I didn't. Funny thing is, people say my daughter's funny. I see it less because she's a teenager and there's that like angst between us. But sometimes he does things now and I'm just like, oh my god, that's so funny. I love funny kids. Like even if they're not my kids, funny kids. I can just see it and I'm like, oh my god, I love your timing. I love your wittiness. I love your facial expressions. So he's starting to do it. I'm dying. I'm laughing. I'm laughing at my own kid. I'm entertained by like an 8-year-old.
That's fabulous.
I know. It's a great time to be alive. And he's also the weirdo who asks those questions. So Olivia and him should like eventually when they get a little older, take a gummy, sit around a fire, and Olivia's older so she can answer these questions that she has like hypothesized might be the truth.
Yeah. She's like, and I don't know, it's just weird when your child isn't you and you're like,
well, it's also, and we've never like, I've never felt so much like having teenagers and having all these questions. So many people have said to us, if you have a religion, it's so much easier to answer the questions of life. And you're kind of doing a disservice if you just don't have any sort of belief or religion, because then you have to I have to look at my kids sometimes and say, I know you want the safety in me telling you the answer, but I don't know. I don't remember ever dying before. I've never known anybody who's lived in a past life and come back to tell me all about it.
I've Googled it many times though, and I can tell you, they all say it's not terrible. Yeah. And I'm like, everybody does it. And I go, by that time you die, you're so ready for it. I'm like, my grandmother and my great-grandmother were like, get me the fuck out of here. Literally, I feel like just like childbirth, you're ready to have a baby.
It's like the inevitable. There's nothing you can do. So
I do think if you're afraid of dying, this is a great conversation for you. Just realize that number one, if it happens early, you probably don't know it's coming. And if you do, you prepare for it. And this is actually a true story. I have worked with children who are terminal for a while, and I've never met children so at peace with. They were more at peace than adults, and I could never figure out why. And one child I worked with who, I still think of to this day, he had a brain tumor from a very young age. And I remember he had a dream before he died. And he said, I flew over the city and I was so happy. And he died within that day or the next day. And I was like, it's like they're at peace with something, because I believe children are closer to what we don't know because they don't get
They don't have the experience of
Fear.
life.
Yeah, and I always think, there's so many brave people who live hard things, and I mean, if you're blessed to live a really long life, it's kind of like I did that, rather than I don't want to go. I just think you have to flip the script and be like, there's not much you can do about it. So why overanalyze?
There's nothing you can do to avoid it. If it's coming, it's coming. So it's exactly like childbirth, or it's exactly like getting your license. Everyone does it. You just got to go through with it.
Yeah.
Those all felt like the same thing to me. Getting my license, having a baby. Everyone's doing it.
It is do it.
I'm no one special here.
And I think if you're afraid to talk about things, it's something that we can bring calmness in our children, because often it's a really big fear that they're like, oh my God. And I think it's, it's scary, definitely, because they don't know the answers, but we don't know the answers either. But I think if you have more of a not calmness, if you're more okay with it, it brings them more peace than being like, don't talk about it.
Yes.
Don't talk about it, And
Teddy,
they're naturally
inquisitive, of course.
And we shut them down.
Yeah.
Or we let them, and if you don't want to answer,
yeah.
just say, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
What do you think?
And then if you shut them down, you don't talk about it, it can create fear within. Teddy wanted to know specifically how the body goes into a place and gets burned into ashes. And I said, TJ, take it away. We recently had this conversation.
Your 8-year-old brother knows exactly.
Yes, we talk about it all the time. And I'm like, it's a weird concept. I'm like, but my whole thing is, would you really rather go in a box under the ground just to rot and take up space in this world?
Yeah.
I definitely am putting, that's my one like future plans that I'm putting my opinion on them about, is to be cremated and not buried.
I'll make sure that happens. It's.
You want to be cremated?
Sure.
No, you need to know.
Yeah, sure.
Does your husband, do you know what your parents' wishes are?
Probably cremated. I'll find that out. I'll go talk to
husband?
him. I mean,
you'll make that decision for him?
He's probably going to a mausoleum. He's Italian. That's what they do. They go to a big ass.
Do they own mausoleums?
I don't know. Let's go.
And then he goes in the drawer.
Let's go buy one.
It's important to know.
It is an interesting. This whole conversation is interesting, and how it led to this was this podcast that we did a little while ago, and I recently have come to a really massive conclusion. And I don't know if I've talked about this, but you'll tell me. I have had to come to the place where I have realized that
this buildup is big.
I'm trying to explain it. Like, I can't control the adults in my children's lives, right? I can't do that. And I've come to realize, when you have a child with a learning disability, there's going to be constant miscommunications of what they're capable of, what they're like, constant. You want to remove everything out of their way so that they can not have to deal with feeling bad about them, like having low self-esteem, or like whether it's a coach, a teacher, a parent, friend, whoever. And I was like, fuck, I can't email all the people who I think are going to cause problems in his life. I have to turn it onto him to teach him how to navigate the shit that he's going to go through, so that he doesn't have to beat himself up over situations that he struggles with. For example, he had a test in hockey where he had to write like a lot. Yes. And that's his biggest struggle.
Yes.
So I could email the coach and be like, hey, listen, but what I have to do is fucking constantly change the narrative in his head about how he needs to control his own narrative of what he is when he goes into that test. So you're not going to write correctly. It's not going to look perfect, but fuck it. You have to get down the things on there and be okay with it. And if it comes back with feedback, because I can't go and tell everyone that you have a learning struggle, just be like, yeah, cool, I know. Like, how do you teach them to embrace their differences? Because otherwise it's like he will constantly be taking negative feedback and ingesting it and feeling like he's not enough. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Because his every day is going to be, what is this?
Yeah.
Hopefully not, because soon we'll just like mentally, telepathically send a message.
It's funny. My daughter has low expectations of herself academically, and is pleasantly surprised when something good happens. But she went and saw a woman before an exam, and the words that this woman put in her head were so much more important than what she taught her before that exam.
Exactly, Natalie.
And she basically told her, like, you are not going to get an A. You know that. I know that. Let's be cool with that. You are not going to get a B. You're okay with that? I'm okay with that. You cool with that? My daughter's like, yeah. She's like, let's just pass. If you just put down everything on the paper that you know and you get a 50, then you'll know that you did everything you could up to where you are right now. My daughter walks in, like, she's like, the confidence that the words put into my daughter's head. My daughter, do you know what she got on her exam?
What did she get?
She got a 52.
So she went above of her expectations. Now, some parents wouldn't be okay with that. But the bigger lesson is that she self-talked herself into the situation of, this is what I'm going to do because this is where I'm at. And I think that that's the whole point.
And it was really amazing having it not come from a parent, and to have this girl that she could just relate to, who was cool, who talked like her, like. And that's why sometimes if you want your kid to, like, if you feel like talking to your kid's uncle or like a coach or a friend or something really has an impact, let them talk to them, because she felt so connected to this girl.
Yeah, and another tip is I'll tell you what I do to kind of basically I'm trying to bulletproof him so that he
I
knows.
I was gonna bully him into something.
No, I'm trying to bulletproof him so that, like, road bumps, because I'm basically like, I say you'll always have road bumps, but don't be a roadblock. Like, don't you be your own roadblock, because that's the only person who can roadblock you. So I try to put the words into his head, because I always think of Robin Defoe, who we have on The Common Parent, who was like, my mom always told me, and in a moment when I was about to die, that went through my head. That has always stuck with me. Mm-hmm. So I think that even as parents, I'll take a quick break and I'll tell you what we did. I think that as parents, there's like 3 things you can do to change their self-talk, and I don't think we do it enough. Number 1, I think you have to write it down to them. Like, that's why I love our journal and The Common Parent so much, because you can write a narrative to them of being like, I loved how you were so helpful today and you worked so hard today. I can't believe how you overcame that. You can actually put words of what they are in there. The other thing is, you can talk about them to someone or a spouse in a positive way, and often we do it in a negative way about our own kids. Like, we're like, oh my God, they're such disasters. Like, you should see their room. But if you can actually flip the script, and they might not 100% be that, but you basically say, like, I'd call Natalie and be like, oh my God, Chloe killed it in her solo. She made a mistake, but she absolutely came back and didn't get defeated by that mistake. So and then the third thing you can do is you can write it down, and then you can get them to say it back to themselves. If they're young enough, they might not. If they're young enough, teenagers might not do it, but like, I would say like 14 and under, even if they don't say it, they'll say it back to you. So I'll say to Max, I'm like, who's a hard worker? I know it sounds cheesy, you guys, but he eye rolls me, he's like, I'm a hard worker. So I try to not put the grades or the expectation. You're not smart. Like, yes, you're smart, but I'm not gonna be, who's smart? I'm smart. I just think that we have to change their narrative, because I don't know who else tells them their narrative. Either people, they look at grades and that's how they create their narrative. They look at what their friends say.
Or people around them that they admire.
Say it to them directly, but which might not always be positive, because often.
No, but it can be.
Yes, but often it's feedback. Like, even us as parents, we're not like, you know what? You were really.
But sometimes you have a great coach or a great teacher that's really good at that, and I have experienced that with coaches, and actually, a lot of my daughter's teachers, because academics is touch and go. They talk more about her character to her and to me, and when we're talking about her, and I love that.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the people who give back a 0 and they look at it, and I am trying to read, like.
No, I know. I'm just saying that there can be other people too that can be that for them.
Yes, but if they don't have it in their life currently, what am I doing so he can pick himself back up again?
Yes, for Max, yes.
Or for any of my children. Even for Chloe today, when she was going, I had to drive, and I was like, just believe in yourself. This is your dream. She's like, this is my dream. I'm like, you got this. You might make a mistake. It's your first time ever. Go with it.
And she has, in that place, she has people. Other people, like, it's like the community that our daughters are a part of and that they do their sport in are very they speak They're not, you're perfect, you're great, everything's good, you're smart, you're flexible, you're all this. But it's all around trying to build them up. And so it's such a good, it's a great place to be. And it's so nice as a parent to know that your child is in a place like that will make them grow.
It's a really unique sport, because I would even say in soccer, when there's so many girls on the field, people aren't like, like it's kind of like they come off the field if they fucked up, and it's like either it's like, okay, you got to do this differently next time. It's not like, wow, that was an amazing play, because it's maybe that people are like clapping, but things move so fast that often coaches have to just show the mistake that happened to reteach them what they did wrong. And it's quick, like, that was a great job, but they can't do it to 30 kids all the time, So I was just thinking, I was like,
that's why it's so crazy when you think like dance moms are so crazy and they have such a bad rap, and our experience has been so great. But
everyone's warning me.
There was about dance moms.
Yeah, I was like,
someone did say that's nobody where our daughters dance will ever become a professional dancer.
I love it. Yeah, well, I'm not looking for that. So that's great.
No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
If you want to become that, you go, there's other places for that. They will be active, they will be supported, they will grow as young women. But if you want to be a professional, you go somewhere else.
What do you be as like you go like a backup dancer?
Dance. I think you can get like scholarships for dance. You can compete in dance. You can actually play on a university, you can play on a university team and compete in dance. So you can do those kind of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea that fuck.
Oh my God, Chloe can get a dance scholarship.
I was just looking for a convenient place where I could have my other kids in sports and she didn't have to be watched. It just works out that dance is one of those spots. And
that's another thing that's great about dance.
Competitions are 4 times a year, and that's
you can't watch practice.
Great. No, you can't watch practice.
Yeah.
And there's no weekend, it's 4 weekend tournaments, not games all year. Fucking that's it. You're out like a light sun. And summer's off, March break off, Christmas off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a win. There's no real, it's like they have a balance. It's like the balance is so beautiful.
The balance is beautiful.
It's just been a lot of thinking, oh, here she is, my dog just realized we podcasting, and she's like, shit, I'm late to the game. I really was just realizing, I was like, as a parent, before I wrap this up, and we talk a lot about confidence in adults, but it really starts younger. It starts so much younger, and I think that we don't put enough weight into the conversation of how we can help them not lose that. And we're always trying to catch up when we're adults, and rather than protect it when they're younger and teach them how to navigate friendships that fuck up, people that don't agree with you, people that don't like you. You're not everyone's gonna like you, and that's a really hard thing to understand. And I think we change ourselves to be liked
it's like Chelsea Handler said, if everybody likes you, you're not that interesting.
Yeah, but that's a really hard thing for us to accept as adults.
So amazing.
Imagine a 12-year-old trying to accept that if we can teach them that not everyone, just, it's cool.
Be your own weird self.
Yeah, just not even like Chichi's the nicest dog in the world, and not even a lot of dogs don't like her for no reason. But I tell the kids that all the time. I'm like, look at Chichi. I'm like, not even dogs can get along all the time. So why should you get along with people all the time? Chichi's the sweetest thing in the world. People attack her all the time. Literally.
I think her mom might have eaten her a few after there.
Totally. We were walking down the street, and there's this older man with this cute Cavalier.
Oh.
He was older. The Cavaliers look like...
Is it a Cavalier, like a car?
No, maybe, but the a King Charles Cavalier. And they've got big ears, and they look like...
The car's probably named after the dog.
They look adorable, and then they're sniffing each other, and then all of a sudden, the dog just goes to Chichi, and the old man almost goes flying. I'm like, oh shit, Chichi, what do you have that you just... Even the baby puppy doesn't like you.
Mine, that happened to me because I don't walk my dog off, and it happened yesterday. And then he's like, oh yeah, my dog is very aggressive. And I was like, oh, and he's like, he's not mean. I'm like, I don't know how this dog thing works. This is my last walk.
My dog is very aggressive, but not mean.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like saying, yeah, no, that's not right.
No.
You know what?
He was old. The man was old. I wasn't going to argue with him. I was just like, okay, we're just going to keep walking. You got your hello. Dog people are weird. Carry on.
Oh, shit. Anyways.
My last walk. And you know what my dog knows? Not to poo. Usually when we're on walks together, I'm like, good girl.
Did you give her a treat? Give her a donut after.
A donut.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. Make sure you leave 5 stars and subscribe to this podcast, and hit us up with your comments or your DMs about anything you want us to talk about. If you have questions, I mean, we could definitely do a Q&A on a Tuesday podcast. If you're like, I would love to know
anything about anything.
You do your eyeliner. I mean,
well, we don't, but we could definitely tell you how we don't do it.
And I can't tell you that the advice will be good. I can just, wow, my titties look big.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, hopefully you're watching. And guys, if you're listening to this, and that's a reminder, if you're listening to this and you want to watch the reactions, because there's nothing like the reactions on our faces, go to YouTube and you can watch all of these. And if you've missed them, you can go back in time, and they are just a good time.
You can also see my titties on YouTube. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Next up, nipples.